Everybody, today we're going to do a short class focused on core work. We are going to need 2 blocks, a myofascial release ball, one of these Pilates balls. I always use the Gorgeous ball from Tune Up Fitness, and then an elastic band. If you have it, it's optional. You can do everything without, but it is nice if you have one. I always think it's nice to do a little bit of myofascial release on whichever area of the body we're going to be working on. There's tons of reasons for that, but just 2 quick reasons. One, today for the core, it can release any stiffness that you might have, whether it's from compensatory patterns or if you've been sitting a lot and you have congestion. So it's just to give your belly a nice reset. And then a second reason is just any myofascial release. It improves just the glide and slide between layers of your muscles. So, abdominal wall has abdominal layers, and we can create a little bit of glide so that we can activate these muscles better, and also to improve some of the blood flow in that area. So if you don't have one of these, you can just skip this part. But if you do have one, just nice and easy, just lay on your belly. Maybe just start right in the middle. I should say right from the beginning. Maybe go empty your bladder if you haven't done so. And women, if you're menstruating, maybe just avoid the area under your belly button. But if you're all good with those, maybe just start on one side. I'm just starting on my left side. And you can just go up and down a few times, going all the way from your left groin area up to your left rib cage area. I'm just doing that a few times. If there's any areas that you want to linger and just breathe, right? So this is no specific direction, just kind of moving around. I do want you to acknowledge that belly rolling can feel a little bit sensitive. I'm just going across to the other side. And this can be for multiple reasons. Unless you really have pain, I don't think this is a contraindication for you. But just remember, we do have a lot of intestine stored in our belly, so it can feel a little bit uncomfortable. And we do have a little bit of a congestion that happens to most of us, kind of in and around those intestines. So it's nice to just create again that slide and glide. And then we also have all these important areas. So I'm going a little bit higher towards my diaphragm and just maybe taking a few breaths. If you haven't done any diaphragm work or you're not very familiar, I do have a class about the diaphragm. So it might be good to look at next time or after this class. And I'm not menstruating and my bladder is empty. So I am going to go under my belly button and just kind of move around a little bit. And then as you do that, just take a moment to breathe. Notice that there will be a little bit of resistance as you inhale because obviously you're laying on the ball. Great. And let that go. Okay. It's just nice to stay there. It would stay longer. Okay. So first, fun exercise. You don't need the props, but it is nice to have them. So just because I have the ball, so options. You're going to place a block in between your ankles and one in between your hands. I'm gonna keep my blocks, but is sometimes I teach this also with a block with a ball in between. So you can swap any of the blocks with the ball. Okay, and we're just gonna lay on the ground. Make sure that your block is above your feet so that your feet can stay neutral. And then you're placing a block in between your hands and just lay here. The block can be on the floor, and just take a moment because you don't have to lift the block in between your hands to actually spread your fingers, so you're not grabbing the block, you're just pressing your palms towards each other and you're flexing your toes towards you and you're squeezing the block in between your ankles. And just take a moment to tuck your tailbone just very slightly, not a lot, and feel the engagement of just pulling your belly slightly in as you exhale. Try to maintain that as you inhale. So we're kind of mimicking a standing Tadasana here. And hopefully understanding that even simply by squeezing your palms together, there should be something waking up around your arms, and then squeezing the block in between your ankles and kind of waking up the center of your body. Take an inhale. and exhale. Great. So this is one of my favorite exercises because it taps into a little bit of balance. That is a test. So you're gonna roll onto your right side with the blocks in between your ankles. Again, try to have your block a little bit higher than your feet so you can actually flex your feet. And the block in between your hands, just to get your balance, maybe set yourself straight, look down, try to make sure that your feet are under your hips as you were standing. And then grab the block in between your palms, and you can either keep your head resting or slightly up if it's not painful. You can start by grabbing onto the block if you need, but eventually lengthen your fingers. And now what I usually try to do if I'm there with you in person, I try to slide my hand underneath the right side of your belly so that you lift this right side of your belly. So it's like you're pushing this right arm down onto the floor as you're trying to squeeze the block in between your hands, and you're also trying to push your right hip down so that you can lift your right abdomen. So there's many ways of saying this, right? It's like you're trying to pull your right armpit down to your right hip and pull your right hip up towards your right armpit and try to lift the right side of your belly. You should be able to feel the right side of your belly engage. Take one more breath. And then without flopping, see if you can gently just roll onto your belly. Adjust yourself. If you can keep the block in between your toes, maybe you have to have your toes tucked under. You're going to place the block in between your palms. Take an exhale. And as you inhale, try to lift your hands and your feet just for one breath. Take an inhale and exhale, release. I'm going to face away from you from the other side. Adjust the block in between your ankles. Flex your toes. Place the block in between your hands. Pull your left armpit down towards your left hip and left hip up towards your left armpit, and try to lift the left side of your abdomen and maybe feel the left side of your abdomen. Notice if you can engage those left obliques. Make sure that you're in one line and kind of playing with this proprioception and balance. Push your left hand down onto the floor to lift your left abdomen and push your left hip down. Try to engage through the center. Make sure that you're inhaling, breathing through the wobbliness, exhaling. Take one more breath. Great. And again, without flopping, with control, roll onto your tummy. One more Superman, Superwoman exhale. Inhale, lift up. Take another breath here. Exhale, release. Tuck your toes, press back, child's pose. So even that, for me, is good activation of core work. I feel like my core is nice and ready for more. Okay, I'm gonna flip around and face this way. Okay, 30 Kapalabhati exhales. Just to fire up the core a little bit, you can sit like I am or sit on a block, however you're comfortable. Remember, exhales sound and look like a ch. You're pulling the belly in. The inhales come naturally, and we're just gonna do 30 of those. Go ahead and exhale all the air out. Take a nice inhale. Let's just take a normal exhale. Exhale. Inhale halfway and begin. You're halfway there. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Blow it all out. Take a nice inhale and exhale. So again, quick class, just waking up the core in different shapes. If you have a band, mine is not long enough, so I'm looping my band and I'm placing it. I want to be facing you, so I'm actually gonna face back again. So I am placing the band inside my right foot. You can do this without a band, so don't stay with me even if you don't have a band. You're going to come to your tabletop and you're going to place the band underneath your right hand just to lock it in place, and it is taut, right? So it's not all like slackened. You are stretching the band. Take an inhale, cow. Just do a little flow here. Exhale, cat round. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Lower down to your forearms. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Then one more. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Okay, press yourself back up. First option, straighten out the right leg. Make sure I'm on the mat. Okay. Think about pulling your belly slightly in, engaging the center of your core. You don't have to super tuck your tailbone in, but slight activation. And then maybe staying here, you can, if you're using the band, you can already feel it. And even if you're not using the band, really push your right foot down onto the floor, like you're trying to pull your right knee in towards the chest at the same time. Second variation, lift your right leg up. And maybe we just lift and lower a few times, squeezing that right butt cheek, making sure that all your weight doesn't fall to the left, but really push that left hand down to the floor to have a little bit of balance. And then maybe some of you also want to lift your left arm up. Great, take an inhale. As you exhale, think about pulling your belly in as if you were trying to pull your left elbow in towards your right knee. Like you're trying to do this the whole time, but you're not actually doing it. Great, take one more breath here. As you exhale, you're going to step your right foot all the way through. And again, if you don't have the band, it's completely fine. But if you do, you're going to stay with it. Lunge a few times. Any quick movement or any extra movement that you want to do here. Okay, and then when you're ready, you're going to pick up your left foot, move it towards the right side, and then face the length of your mat. Straighten out your right leg to prepare for a gate pose. I'll show it without a band first so that you see. I lost my tie. That you don't need a band to do this. 1 second. Okay. So gate pose, bringing both arms over your head, interlace your fingers, release just your index, take an inhale. As you exhale, you're gonna bend to your left. And just here, you're gonna try to bring what we just did on the floor. So when we're holding onto the blocks, imagine you're here. And try to pull your left armpit down towards your left hip and your left hip up towards your left armpit. You're lifting this left oblique side away from this imaginary floor. This is how we started. If you have the band, which I do, I'm gonna grab here. And then you're just gonna lengthen away. And again, I always try to convince everybody to get the props, but this TheraBand has really changed the way I do things. I do think it's really nice. Great, take one more breath here. As you exhale, you're gonna come back to center, face the front of the room again. You can remove the band, pick up your left knee. Let's just stretch a little bit, block underneath your left hand, reach your right arm up. Take one more breath here. As you exhale, release and step your left foot forward. Inhale, take a half lift. As you exhale, release. Okay, focusing on our core again. So we did this on the floor. We're going to do it standing. Place the block in between your ankles. Place a block in between your hands. I'm going to face you. And then see if you can come back to that Tadasana, actually standing. Release your fingers if you can. Press the block in between your palms, tuck your tailbone slightly, feel your heels on the floor, and see if you can kind of like narrow everything down to your belly. So engage your core simply by standing. Keep all of that. Take an inhale. As you exhale, sit down on a chair pose. Look out, down at your feet. Make sure that your feet are pointing forward. Again, just slight tuck of the tailbone to engage the belly. Take one more breath. This might be a little bit challenging. Lower your torso halfway down. Great. And start to shift the weight forward towards your toes and maybe straighten out your legs a little bit. Again, these blocks are heavy for me, so I'm using the cork blocks. If you have the foam blocks, you're lucky. But think about lengthening your torso forward. Take one more breath. Exhale, release everything down. Place the blocks on either side. Step your feet back. Inhale. As you exhale, lower your knees, chest and chin. Slide your knees back. Inhale, take a cobra. Exhale, release. Press back, child's pose. We're gonna do a little bit more work on this side, and then that's it. We go to the other side, downward dog. Okay, exhale all the air out. Take an inhale through the nose, and exhale. You're gonna come up to your tippy toes. You're gonna turn both heels to your right. Listen carefully, you're going to round yourself forward to plank. So this is a familiar plank. Don't stack your feet, just keep them about hips width apart. You're gonna sit your hips back to your heels. So look where I am. And then inhale from your toes, spring yourself forward to roll onto your right hand and reach your left arm up. Take an inhale. As you exhale, thread your left arm underneath your right waistband, and same thing, lift that right waistband away from the floor like how we started class. Inhale, lengthen. Second variation, once again, bend your knees, sit your hips back towards your heels. From your feet, spring yourself forward. Once again, exhale, thread under. Great, inhale, lift up. And then last one, you're gonna sit down. Optional this time, if you can, sit all the way down, turn around, reverse tabletop. Fingers can be pointing towards you or away, and press your feet down, lift up. Maybe tuck your chin in first to lengthen the back of your neck before you choose to. I don't like to drop my head all the way back. Sometimes I do it, but I kind of keep my head engaged. Take one more breath. Exhale, release. You're going to cross your feet, shift forward, and then see if you can step or jump back to plank. Inhale. Traditional flow, lower 2/3 down. Anywhere from a cobra to an upward facing dog. However you want to get to your down dog. Exhale all the air out. Take a nice inhale and exhale. And that's it. We go to the other side. So maybe bring your blocks to your front. Grab the TheraBand. If you're using it, I'm looping it in my left foot, grabbing it, placing it underneath my left hand, keeping the band, this is how I lost the, keeping the band taut. You know what? I'm gonna show it without the band this time, even though I like it more, just because if you don't have it, I don't want you to feel like you actually need it. So having your toes tucked under, straighten out the left leg, squeeze your left butt cheek. Good. Think about pushing your left foot down onto the floor, like you're trying to get rid of the floor. And then the whole time, it's like you're trying to pull your left knee into your chest. So try to find that imaginary movement. Great. And then a few times, make sure you don't shift all the way to the right. Lift your left leg up. And then the whole time, you're trying to think about pulling your left knee in. So engaging your core at a diagonal. So you should be feeling left lower abdomen more. And then if you want, a few times, if you've lifted and lower, maybe you lift your right arm up. And we're not doing this, but you're trying to imagine that you are. So what does it feel like if you're trying to pull your right elbow in towards your left knee? Pull down. So it's like if you have, I have the block here. Imagine if I had blocks stacked up, it's like I'm pushing the knife edge of my right pinky hand down onto the block. Great, right? So it's a lot of engagement, a lot of imaginary engagement, actually understanding your body. Step your left foot forward, and then lunge a few times. And it is hard work. You can hear that my voice is a little bit like short of breath. Whatever you feel like doing here. Before you pick up your right foot, turn towards the left side, straighten your left leg, gate pose. If you have the blocks, let's do this. Bring the block in between your palms. Heavy blocks. Take an inhale, bend to your right. And the whole time, try to pull your right armpit down to your right hip up towards your right armpit, lifting the right side of your abdomen. I can tell you, in my case, it's much easier for me to wake up the right side of my obliques than my left side. Like this side, I'm like, I feel it. And the other side, it was a little bit more like I had to like focus to try to engage, right? So it's learning how to practice with awareness. Take one more breath. Great, go ahead and bring yourself back to center. Release the block forward, straighten yourself up, pick up your right knee, right hand on the floor, left arm up. Just one breath here. Great. Exhale, release. Step the right foot forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release. Block or no block, I'm just going to use one in between my hands. Sit down on your chair pose. Inhale. Exhale, sit a little bit lower, just slight tuck of the tailbone, nothing too extreme. And then lower your torso halfway down. And then lengthen your torso, shift the weight forward to the mounds of your toes. It's almost like you can lift your heels up, straighten out your legs a little bit. Take one more breath. Exhale, release everything down. Step back, modified flow first, lower knees, chest and chin. Cobra, child's pose. Down dog. Quick flow. Okay, heels up. Turn both heels to your left. Separate your feet a little bit. Round yourself forward to plank. Left hand down, right arm up. Oh, we're gonna go back because I forgot something. So from here, from your plank, sit your hips back to your heels. And then from your toes, spring yourself forward to plank. Reach your right arm up. Inhale. Pull left armpit down to your left hip up to your left armpit. Lift the left side of your obliques and thread your left arm under. Great. Inhale, lift. If you can do it with one hand, sit your hips down towards your heels from your feet. Spring yourself forward. Second one, inhale. Exhale. And then last one, lift up. Bend your knees. Sit down into reverse plank if you prefer. Place your feet down. Place your hands. Lift your hips. Maybe if you want to straighten your legs, go for it. Inhale. Great. Exhale. Release. You're going to sit up. We're going to balance in a Navasana for a moment. If you need to hold on behind your legs, if you want to straighten your legs and bring your arms up to you. Inhale, pull your knees into your chest. And on a count of 5, lower down. 4, 3, 2, 1. And you are there. Windshield wipe your knees a little bit. After activating our core, we have to release. If not, it's good to have a strong core, but again, we don't want to finish this practice with stiffness. So if you do have the blocks, bring them on either side of your thighs as you open to Konasana, butterfly. Place both hands on your belly. And we're just going to take a few wide breaths. Inhale. Fully inflate your belly. Exhale, soften, and maybe as you soften, just massage your belly a little bit. Make sure that it's soft, no tension, right? You can be strong without stiffness, or we should be strong without stiffness. Inhale. Exhale. Soft belly, soft belly, soft belly. Just kind of like a cat, kind of massage all around your belly button. Inhale. Exhale. Thank you so much for taking this class. If you liked it, feel free to comment. If there's any feedback, if there's anything you would like to see from the upcoming classes, if you haven't subscribed yet, share with your friends. Help me promote myself in this YouTube world. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.